going on, everybody? Welcome into the Packers Report. My name is Joey Petersen. The 2025 NFL season has already kicked off, but we're really looking to tomorrow when the Packers take on the Detroit Lions. And I thought it'd be fun before the season starts. Look at the ESPN article previewing the season, predicting some pretty crazy things for your Green Bay Packers. So on today's show, I'm going to be reacting to many things. Odds to make the playoffs, projected wins, biggest strength and concern, fantasy football insight, and of course, we're going to get into ESPN's and my bold prediction on the Packers season in 2025. Guess what? Speaking of that, regular season watch parties are here on the channel. If you want a fun place to go with a great community, the Packers Report will be live for the Lions-Packers game tomorrow. So the way you make sure you join us, subscribe, turn on those notifications. That way, whenever we do go live, you'll get notified. You can come hang out with all of us. We'll be here for the entirety of the regular season. It's going to be an absolute blast. I hope I see you all tomorrow. So ESPN's predictions, they look as follows. Their playoff odds sit at 56.4%, so above a 50% chance to make the playoffs. I'd argue a little bit higher, but I think part of that is just because of the strong division that they play in. Speaking of that division, their chance to win it is 29.0. Projected wins is 9.2. Their strength of schedule is the fifth hardest. And, of course, their 2024 record last year was 11-6. The fact that they have a sixth highest projected win total at 9.2, and the fact that you also combine that with the, fifth hardest schedule in the National Football League is absolutely crazy. Like, I love that. To me, that shows that people believe in this team and think that they're going to have a really, really good season. But with that being said, like a fifth hardest schedule, there are some tough games up ahead for Green Bay. Now, the good news is a lot of those tough games you do get at home. You play Detroit week 1 at home. Obviously, you go home and home with them. But you take on Washington at home, Baltimore at home, Philly at home, a whole lot of other opponents you get to come in your building for the, bigger games, I should say. And then, of course, week 13 at Detroit. No matter if those are home on the road, though, against those good teams who all made the playoffs last year, one went to the Super Bowl, one went to the NFC Championship, the other won 15 games last year, and the other one's the Baltimore Ravens. So, those are tough opponents. But personally, this just might be like the sicko inside of my brain. I love having a hard schedule. I think it's phenomenal. From a viewer and fan perspective, I love getting to watch as many good games as I can. That makes it fun for me. But I also think at the end of the day, it's great for the team as well. Because when you get into the playoffs eventually, the only teams you're going to face there are good teams. The only games you're going to have there are hard games. You get no cupcakes in the playoffs. Just think of the 2023 Dallas Cowboys. All right, I know this is graphic. That will perk your ears up, make you a little bit happy. But remember them. They played that year one of the easiest schedules in the National Football League. They finished the year with a 12-5 record. Everybody was saying this is finally the year that the Dallas Cowboys get back over that hump. They're finally going to do it. And then they ran into the buzzsaw. For them, that was the Green Bay Packers, and they got blown out in the first round. All that because they played cupcake after cupcake after cupcake that they weren't ready to go when the playoffs came around. And the second they played a real team, when a game really mattered, they got their pants pulled down. Speaking of that win total, though, they have it at 9.2. I'm going to up it to 9.5 for the over-under. Let's go to Vegas together. 9.5 wins for the Packers in 2025. Are you going over that or are you going under that? You let me know your answer in the comment section down below. So the biggest strength for the Packers is what ESPN talked about next. And they said the experience on offense, which seems a little bit crazy, right? Because we know this is one of the youngest teams in the National Football League and has been one of the youngest teams over the past couple of years. And that's where ESPN starts. Saying that might sound counterintuitive, given that this has been the youngest team in the NFL the past 2 seasons and likely will have one of the youngest rosters this year. But the core of this group, including Jordan Love and most of his pass catchers, have grown together. General Manager Brian Gutekunst's idea was for the quarterback and his young skill position players to have time to build chemistry together. Now, we'll see if that's the case this year, because they didn't necessarily, when talking about the wide receiver core, have a ton of chemistry last year. And I know these are statistics that we talked about a lot over the last 7 months. They're statistics we've shown you a lot over the last 7 months. But that's because they're important. Highest percentage of wide receivers causing incompletions. Number 1, Green Bay Packers. They're on a list with 4 teams you never want to be on a list with. When you talk about the drop rate, you had a lot of really good wide receivers have a pretty high drop rate. 9.7 for Dobbs, 11.8 for Wicks, 12% for Reed. Most yards lost to drops. Right at the top of that list again is the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love specifically with 282 yards lost to drops. Tied for first with Baker Mayfield. And up there with a guy in Bryce Young, Bo Nix, and Joe Burrow as well. Again, these aren't lists that you want to be a part of, but these are lists that the Green Bay Packers dominated last season, last year. So sure, I think the experience is great, but the chemistry only matters if they can catch the football. If they can't do that, then chemistry, smimistry, I'm tired of hearing about that. My biggest strength, in my opinion, for this team, I think it's the offensive line. Okay, I really do. I really, really like this offensive line. I love who you got out there at the tackles. I like the interior. I like Sean Ryan a lot. I think Elgton Jenkins is going to make that move to center pretty seamlessly. Aaron Banks, I think he was an overpay, but he's still a good offensive lineman. I think that is the biggest strength of this team, either that or the linebacker room. I don't want to just say the pass rush now just because you added Micah Parsons as well. That's going to be phenomenal, but I need to see that before I can go ahead and say it. Name it for me. What do you think the Packers' biggest strength is? Let me know in the comment section down below. You probably feel similar to me when I mention the pass rush. Maybe you feel the way I do when I mention the offensive line. No matter how you feel, let me know in the comment section down below. Coming up on today's show, don't go anywhere. We still got a lot to discuss. Okay, we're talking Green Bay's biggest weakness. Then we're going over the fantasy football advice from ESPN. And then last, of course, we got to get into our bold predictions. You know what I love about this channel? You and me, we're so similar. We both love the Packers. We both love football. That's how I know. The fact that I love underdogs means the fact that you will love underdog as well. Football season is here, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Let's cut to the chase. If you download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report, you score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. And speaking of getting your picks right, last weekend, I won hundreds on Underdog. I went heavy Tennessee Volunteers, because of course that's where I graduated from. Also threw in the Garrett Nussmeier lower yards and took home hundreds. And if we want to do the same thing again this weekend, I got some picks for us for this Lions-Packers game. Give me the higher on Jordan Love, 1.5 passing touchdowns. Give me the higher on Jahmyr Gibbs, 25.5 receiving yards. And give me the higher on Josh Jacobs, 2.5 receptions. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code Packers Report. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Alrighty, we talked biggest strength. Now let's get a little bit more pessimistic. Let's talk ESPN's biggest concern, which they label as the secondary. And I'm going to tell you right now, I tend to agree with them. They signed cornerback Nate Hobbs in free agency, ESPN says, and it will be him and Keyshawn Nixon as the base corners. Neither has ever been a true cornerback one, and the Packers moved on from theirs when they cut Jair Alexander in June. Hobbs is recovering from early August knee surgery as well. Look, I totally agree with this. And if you've watched this show for any amount of time, I've been saying this for a while, and if this is your first time, it's probably not going to be the last time you hear me say this. I've got a little bit more faith than I think the just national pundits do in this group, because at the end of the day, we've seen Keyshawn Nixon have to step up and be a CB1 with a guy like Jair Alexander down. Nate Hobbs, I'm excited in his promise, but of course we know he's injured right now. There's just a lot of question marks. And that's why I'm sitting here telling you I would not be surprised at all if there was some sort of a trade deadline move. I wouldn't be shocked if we're 10 weeks through the season, they feel like they can win a Super Bowl with everything outside of the cornerback room, and they go make a move in early November to shore up that last thing. And then they feel like they can push from there on out and hoist a Lombardi trophy. So keep an eye out on that. Another thing to keep an eye out on, if for some reason, even though the season started, you haven't done your fantasy draft, and you're looking at how to win your fantasy league, maybe this is so you can make a trade. Look at trying to trade for Matthew Golden, because they think that he is the key to winning it all with a Green Bay player this year. And I like a lot of what they're saying. With his 4.29 speed and ball tracking ability, the rookie first rounder brings a playmaking skill set to Coach Matt LaFleur's offense. Last season at Texas, Golden led the country with 23 receptions of 20 or more yards. Plus, he can work the underneath levels of the route tree from multiple alignments. Expect Matthew Golden to get some legit run pretty quickly, okay? I think it's going to benefit him that Christian Watson is hurt and going to be out of this lineup for the foreseeable future. And we all know that he's already thought of as a very highly touted receiver already in this system. We talked about it, what was that, on Thursday, about how excited everybody is for him and how Jaden Reed thinks he's already advanced. And there's a lot of reasons why you should be excited, right? He's got that blazing speed. He improved his catch percentage, made plays in the limited preseason that he has, and everybody can't stop talking about him. Whether that's coaches, whether that's players, whether that's beat reporters. Everybody seems to like what they're seeing from Matthew Golden, and I have a feeling tomorrow we're going to like it as well. Tell me, okay, which Packers players do you have on your fantasy team? Be honest with me. I have Tucker Kraft. I made sure to snag him, and he went late too. I was like, okay, I'll take Tucker Kraft. I think I got him in like the 13th round or something like that. It was crazy. Maybe the 12th. I don't remember. You let me know which Packers players you have or how many Packers players you have on your fantasy team. ESPN's bold prediction. That's how we're going to wrap this thing up, and then I'm going to give you mine. Their bold prediction was all about one Edgerrin Cooper. It seems like they're just as high on him as I am. Linebacker Edgerrin Cooper will be a first or second team All-Pro. Cooper's numbers were fantastic in a semi-small sample as a rookie last season. His 46% run-stop win rate would have led all linebackers. His 0.6 yards per covered snap allowed was better than average, and he recorded 3.5 sacks. And look, I'm here to tell you, I'm as high on Edgerrin Cooper as anybody else. Whether you cover football at a national level or whether you cover the Packers on a daily level like I do. I think he's going to be an absolute star. There's a lot of reasons I think that as well. He finished last year so incredibly strong, led all the rookies in havoc plays, which is when you have a tackle for loss, a pass breakup, interception, fumble recovery, sack, anything that creates havoc among the offense that you created, that's what they call a havoc play. Led all rookies. Added also 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason, and with that added muscle, he hasn't lost a step in athleticism. The dude's an absolute freak. So I like ESPN's bold prediction. I'm going to give you a new one, though, just for fun. I think Love could be an MVP finalist. I know it's crazy to say, because a lot of people are like having him right outside their top 10 rankings, so this would be pretty bold if he shoots all the way up to a top 3 option. I just feel like with the addition of Matthew Golden, with how well they run the football, and with his health being at 100%, this is going to be some special year for number 10. Make sure you got me followed on social media, because I'll be there to cover it all, right? On Twitter and on Instagram at Joey Petersen 8. Those links in the comment section and description of today's video. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Can't ask you enough. Join us. This is the best place to be for daily coverage of the green and gold.